What's up, guys? This video is going to be about debt management. It's the second block of the financial foundation, and it's a very important one. But we've kind of cheated on this because all of section 3 is about debt management. We kind of did it all beforehand. So there's not really much to do in this video. I'm going to go over, a summary of it and kind of where we've been and what is still happening with debt management. So yeah, let's just go and do that. But everything, like the mechanics of everything that we've been doing, has happened already in the third section, section 3. So debt management is the second part of the financial foundation. We have protection, and then we have debt management next. That's where it is. So let's do a little overview of what debt management is. And this, I'm giving you a little preview here. This is some slides from the program, the course that I'm going to be posting after I complete this series here, this rebuild series. So you're getting a little bit of a taste of what's to come. And I want to put on animations because it's going to be a lot cooler if I do it with animations. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is what's going to happen, basically. I'm going to hit next, and we're going to go to the next slide, and then some cool animations are going to come up. So at a very basic level, this is what everybody's financial situation, financial system looks like, right? Money comes in and money comes out, okay? So there has to be either an equilibrium or one has to be bigger than the other here. It's not going to be anything different, right? On a basic level, this is what it looks like. Now, if, let's say, for some reason your money out is a lot bigger than the money you have coming in, then that money, additional money going out, has to come from somewhere, and that money is coming into your system in the form of credit. This could be usually it's with credit cards is the most common thing, but it could also be from personal loans, like you took out money to pay for something, or student loans, right? You took out money you didn't have to pay for college. It could be financing your car, whatever it is. Like when money out is higher than money coming in, that money just doesn't get created. You're not a bank, right? You're not the Federal Reserve, so you can't just print your own money. That's illegal. So you have to go and get the money from somebody who it is legal to print the money, right? And that they give it to you as credit. They let you borrow that money. And when they let you borrow that money, then of course there's debt servicing that has to be done with that debt that you created. You got the money from them, and then they say, okay, here, use it to go and buy your things, and then you got to service that debt. You have to pay them back over a period of time, right? So that this inequality can't go on forever, because eventually you're going to be forced basically to reduce the amount of money that you're spending on things so that you can service the debt. Otherwise, it take you to court, and you have to go through bankruptcy and all this kind of stuff, which is fine as well. All debt that you have is cancelable. That's perfectly okay, right? But most people choose not to do that because the credit score gets really dinged and bad, and then people don't want to lend you money anymore. Okay, all right. So debt servicing basically ends up being like a chain around your neck, right? You have to do it. You have to pay it. It's not something that you can choose not to do. So a lot of people would agree that it's not a very good or healthy or financially stable way to live, where you're constantly servicing debt for the rest of your life, right? Yeah, that should have hit next a little bit sooner than I did there, but not a good way to live, maybe. Okay, so basically the way to get out of the situation, right, to solve this problem is that, first of all, the money coming in has to be greater than the money going out. If that's not true in the first place, then debt management is never, ever going to work. You're always going to be creating debt because you're taking in credit to pay for things, right? When you have this inequality here, money in greater than money out, then it allows you to make this also true, debt servicing to be greater than the amount of credit that you have coming in. You're paying more for the debt that you have than the credit that you're taking. Right? You're taking this amount of credit in, but you're paying this amount of debt, and that's going to allow you to get out of debt. That's basic, like, that has to be the baseline scenario. The second step for this is to make debt servicing much, much bigger than the minimum payment, right? The credit payments that you make, the minimum amount, they call it the minimum payment, okay? You can pay up to as little as that amount, but if you want to get out of debt a lot faster, then you increase the minimum payment, or not increase the minimum payment, then you pay much more than the minimum payment, and that gets you out of debt very fast. You don't really have to go or look very far to see that this is very true. Like, I think I have a credit, yeah. So I have a credit card statement here for my credit card, and they tell you right in the statement that if you make only the minimum payment, it would have taken me 23 years to pay off the balance that I had. And I think at this statement, the balance was like $12,000. Would have paid that much in total. 27,373 is what I would have paid in total. Now, if I set my payment at $432, which is higher than the minimum payment, and I just pay that for the rest of the time, then I'm going to be out of this credit card debt in 3 years. It would only take 3 years. And my savings would be 11,833 or something like that. So you don't have to really look very far. It's kind of common sense that if you pay more than the minimum payment, then you're going to get out of debt much, much, much faster. So the way to do this, one way to do this is by using a debt paydown strategy, which all the strategies are basically going to end up being the same thing, but it's making a list of your debt and then making a plan to pay it off. So that's what we did in section 3 entirely. I used this exact spreadsheet here, this really great one that's from my Life and My Finances. It's a really cool spreadsheet where you input all your debt, the amounts, and you basically make a pay down plan. And that's how we did it. So let's go to that. So here it is, right? The pay down plan, I'm going to go back to this. So the pay down plan that I was using, made a list of all my debt, credit card, and that's it. I was working on 4 credit cards. And then put the balance of each one, the minimum payment, just put in all the details here, and then got a pay down strategy. And it looks a little kind of all over the place, right? Like this one only had one payment because I decided to just pay that off all in one go. This one we did it the normal way. Did that one the normal way. Paid a set amount until it was all done with. And then this one, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I was going to do it the normal way, but then I realized, I can do a balance transfer, get rid of the 16% interest rate, put it onto a 0% interest rate for some time. So now on this Discover card, what we have going on is I'm paying a little bit more than the minimum payment until the interest rate promo goes away. And at that point, I have the option of paying off, the full balance if I want to do that, which is going to be just under $7,000. And in conjunction with this, right, I have a savings ledger going here with a goal to save $7,000 by the date that the promo wears off. So I'm 18% of the way there. So I'm not just like saying whatever and hoping that the money is going to show up or something, but I have a goal here and putting money towards it every time I do my balance sheet, basically. So that's the way that I'm managing my debt, right? Having it under control. Now, debt management doesn't mean like go as fast as you can to pay off your debt. It could if you want it to mean that, but it doesn't have to mean that. If it could also mean like just using the debt responsibly. You don't have to be like crazy about paying off your debt. It could become unhealthy to do that because, people get all crazy about debt pay down and then that becomes their god, right? And then they don't learn about what it means to have debt. They just hate it, and then they never understand it, and that puts them in a bad situation. But it doesn't mean necessarily that you have to pay off your debt, because if we look at the financial statements, the thing that creates debt is having too many expenses. Okay, and So if you have too many expenses, that means you're creating new debt. And when you have new debt, what you got to do, what you have created is more liabilities for yourself. And when you create more liabilities for yourself, that in turn creates more expenses, right? And then that is the cycle. That's the cycle that you want to avoid, right? Expenses, financing, more liabilities, more liabilities, more expenses, more new debt, more new liabilities, etc. Now, if you are creating new debt, which is creating more liabilities for you, but you are also at the same time adding an asset to your balance sheet, like let's say an investment property or a stock investment or whatever kind of thing, right? And that investments that you're making is creating more income. And that income and that investment income that you're making covers the additional expenses that the liability creates, then that makes sense. That's okay. That could be your debt management strategy. My personal debt management strategy right now is to pay off all my credit cards. I don't have any other kind of debt, but in the future, that might be my debt management strategy. Might be not to pay it off as quickly as possible, but only manage it so that when I look at my balance sheet, I'm creating debt for myself, but I'm also creating an asset, building an asset. And the asset is going to create income for me that is going to cover the expenses created by that liability that I took on. So that's it. That's it for debt management. It's pretty simple. And I think this is going to be the only video in this topic, right? The last one had the protection checklist as a side or as a secondary video. But for this one, that's it, because we have all of the section 3. All of section 3, everything that is 3 dot is about the debt. So we've already done it. We've kind of cheated a little bit and done it. So that's it. That's it, guys. Okay, that's it for this video. See you in the next one for the emergency fund. Bye-bye.